You might want a pen and paper for this, but you can always just comment on Facebook. You've got that comment, so type anything that you want there. We're going to be doing quite a lot of different exercises in practice, so you might want to type your answers in. So let's begin. So with listening, as you know, with the OET, the listening and the reading sections are for both professions, for all professions, sorry, not both professions. And the writing and speaking is for the specific profession. So they are like completely different. If you're a doctor, you will have a different piece of writing to if you are a nurse. But the listening and reading is the same for everyone. So hopefully this lesson will be useful for a lot of different professions. So we're going to be looking at part A today. And listening part A is 2 extracts. They are the gap fills. You only listen once. This is the same for all of the listening. They're in a consultation style. So this is normally between a doctor and a patient. And your skill that you need here really is listening for specific information. So with B and C, there is some kind of gist, there's some detail, there's different kind of skills that you need. But with part A, you are just listening for specific words and specific information. So today, this lesson is going to be split into 2 parts. The first one is strategies. So things that you will hopefully be able to use that can help you to get the score that you need. And then we're going to do 2 practice extracts. Now, remember that with part A in the actual exam, you have 2 practice extracts. So yeah, we're going to basically do a practice test. Now, so my first tip for you is use the 30 seconds reading time wisely. Now, you will see when you are in your exam, an extract like the one that you can see on the screen now. And you have 30 seconds, which is not very long, to read through all of this. Now, 30 seconds is not long enough, really, to read through every single thing. So you've got to be really clever about this. So the first thing in the 30 seconds that I would do is read this kind of introduction statement. So here we can see you hear a consultant endocrinologist talking to a patient called Sarah Croft. Now, being an endocrinologist, this already gives us information, and we haven't even read anything yet. But we know obviously an endocrinologist is dealing with hormones. So we might be dealing with something like diabetes here. There's, it could be thyroid problems. There's lots of different things that we might get, but we know it's not really going to be about the heart, for example. So in these 30 seconds, the best thing to do is look at the headings. So the subheadings that we can see here are telling us all of the points that we really need to pay attention to. So by looking at just the subheadings, you are going to know the general information that is going to come in that section. And this really helps you to focus, because one thing that, that we find with students is that they look at the first one and then they can't go to the second point. They get lost and they think, oh, I haven't heard the first point. And then already the audio has gone down and you're into kind of general symptoms maybe, and they're still listening for that medical history. So by looking at the headings, it helps you know kind of what's coming next. So this is basically chronological order. So when you are listening to part A, every single thing that comes up is in order. So I've got an example for us here. Here we've got Sarah Croft, the same extract that we had before. And you can use the bullet points to help you know what's coming next. Now, what I am going to do, I've got a little task for you. I would like you to have a look at these bullet points in general symptoms and see if you can match the bullet points with the transcript. So I'll just give you about 30 seconds to do this. Okay, let's go through this together. So the first bullet point we've got is gradual weight gain, especially in the stomach area. Can you see, well, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. Can you tell me again?
Raj.
Raj.
Yeah.
Okay, Raj, can you tell me, did you find a bit about gradual weight gain?
It says I have put on a lot of weight and it seems to be concentrated there. It's like, is it telling us it's put on weight, like is it like increased weight?
Exactly, yeah, definitely. Saying like my stomach is huge and then concentrated. So yeah, perfect, exactly. Let's have a look at number 2. So something on face, embarrassing.
And then it says, I don't know what's happened, what's appeared on my face or what happened on my face, and it's embarrassing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's not clear what happened, what appeared, but like she doesn't know.
Well, I took it out very cheekily. Yeah. So you could see it there, but not today. So yeah, we can see that kind of matching. So we've got that gradual weight gain and the stomach is huge, and then we've got the face, embarrassing. So our next one, something is, oh, 1 second. Yeah, something is visible between the shoulders.
It just says in between my shoulder. Yeah, it's this well, but should be. Yeah, I did something else, but I didn't notice at first. But other people are telling me like you got something between your shoulders. Yeah,
exactly. And then where it's saying like between the shoulders, we can then hear, okay, in between my shoulders. So yeah, perfect. We've then got swollen ankles.
Yeah, look at my ankles, they're swollen too.
Yeah. And then excessive and constant something. And that is this next section. So something else which has got really bad.
Cough and constant cough.
Yeah, where she's saying like I'm always so much. So we know that with always she's saying it's constant. And they're saying like no amount seems to help. So we know that it's excessive as well.
Yeah.
So we're still kind of going in our logical order. We've got backache. We've got this bit, my back tends to ache a bit.
Yeah.
We then have that periods are something, and she says, my periods used to be painful. So again, we'll keep going in order. And then we've got extreme tiredness, and I often feel tired. Yeah. So we can see that it's a very logical order with this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at is synonyms. Now, this is a different extract. And we can see here with our headings, we're looking at description of initial symptoms, and then we're looking at the impact on daily life. And I'm going to show you some of the transcript. So here in the audio, you'll hear, well, I suppose it started out as a really strong pain in my left knee.
Yeah.
We've got something here. Then I tripped while climbing some stairs at work, and that seemed to make things worse.
Yeah.
We then have, I started to get these very tender bumps all over the back of my knee. I couldn't really squat properly or climb ladders. That's important in my job. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we've got severe, worsened, developed, and unable to. I'm going to give all of you 30 seconds, and I want you to try and match these words in the square, severe, worsened, developed, with words that you can see in the transcripts. You can type them into the comment box if you're on Facebook. Okay. So Raj, do you want to do the first one for us?
Yeah, it's a severe means it's a like strong pain. Strong.
Perfect. Yeah, severe and strong. Good. The next one, oh sorry, I gave you the answer. so worsened and make things worse, and tripped with accident. Raj, is that what you got?
For was, yeah, well, like, yeah, kind of same, but no.
Kind of. Yeah, so I mean this verb worsen literally is to make things worse.
Yeah, that was my answer. But accident, yeah. Oh yeah, tripped.
Yeah, so when you have the bullet points, they're really good when there's no like actual gap, because it gives you a bit of kind of breathing time. So okay. I've done 13, I've written it down, and then I know the next bullet point's coming up. I read it very quickly. Worsened after an accident at work. I'm listening and I hear tripped. Okay, they're talking about an accident. And then I hear, while climbing some stairs at work, and that seemed to make things worse. Okay, so worsened, good. Now I know they're on to the next one. So now I can listen really carefully for number 14. So what have we got in this transcript that's the same as developed?
Get. Started to get.
Started to get. Yeah, started to get. Because I mean, developing, like, as you know, it's like kind of to get worse over time or get better over time. So started to get is kind of showing that. Yeah, good. And then enable.
Couldn't.
Yeah, easy, good. Okay. So by using synonyms, I mean, this is what they do, OET, they're very, they love synonyms. So they're never going to say the same words that you have on your page. So in that 30 seconds, it's not very long, but as you're going through, you need to kind of try and remember as much as you can. Like, okay, so it's a severe left knee pain. I know that severe means strong. Maybe I'm going to hear the word strong, and that's going to help me to know where I am and know where to listen for the answer. So let's do a little bit more practice with some synonyms.
Yep.
So here I have a different case, another extract. This is Phoebe Johnson. And here are some highlighted words that you would have on your page. And again, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I would like you to write down or type in the comments some synonyms for these words.
Okay.
That was not very long, was it? I wonder. Okay, there you go. I'm being nice. 30 more seconds.
Do you have many people like joined, or just me?
No, there's probably quite a few on Facebook.
All right, okay.
Watching it live. Yeah,
all
so
right.
Hopefully they're all commenting.
Oh no, okay. Because it's the first time, I'm not sure how it works.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I'm so happy that you're here, because I can't talk to everybody on Facebook. I can say hi to them, but they can't reply. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. You've had a minute, guys. So. All right. Have you got an idea for experience, Raj?
Having. I'm having this like.
Yeah. Yeah, having, same thing. Yeah, definitely. If you experience pains, you basically have pains.
Have
So,
been.
yeah, definitely. Good. So it's quite likely that in the transcript you would hear the word had, definitely. What about found?
I got. Can we put that?
If you say previous doctor got something on thyroid, is it the same as the doctor found something on the thyroid?
No.
No. I had discovered.
Looked, found, or looked.
Yeah, looked. Noticed, you could say maybe. Noticed, yeah. So yeah, noticed or discovered, they're both good. What about saw?
It's doctor saw this. The doctor looked at this.
I would go again for something like noticed or found.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because if you say doctor looked, it's like if I say like saw is when you see something, like you notice it. And if it's look, it's like maybe, oh, doctor, look, I have this on my neck. And then the doctor looks.
Okay.
If the doctor sees something, then he goes, oh, did you know you have something on your neck?
Yeah.
So there's like that really small difference there.
Okay.
So on the first visit to the previous doctor, something showed a lump in the right thyroid. What could you think for showed as a synonym? Don't worry, it's okay.
Found?
Revealed is something that could work. I think the answer to number 4 would probably be some kind of exam. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but something showed a lump. So maybe a CT scan revealed a lump.
Yeah.
So if a healthcare professional advised having, what could we have a synonym for advised?
Advised.
Something that begins with
Recommended.
Yeah. Yeah, recommended or suggested.
Yeah.
So while you're listening, maybe the patient says, well, yeah, I went to see an endocrinologist and she recommended that I have blah, blah, blah. And then you can hear, oh, okay, so she advised having whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
So suggested, you know some synonyms for suggested now.
Yes, like, recommended scans that he suggested, he recommended I can take this, tablet and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So again, yeah, recommended, advised, same kind of thing. Yeah, perfect. Good. All right. Okay, let's move on. So parts of speech. Well, parts of speech. What are parts of speech? Do we know?
No.
These are nouns, verbs, adjectives. So these are those like technical grammatical words.
Yeah.
So,
but I thought it's in exam, some kind of part of
no, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know parts of speech, but you do need to know what a noun is and a verb and an adjective. So I have another extract here from part A. And when we say has occasional, the word that we would expect after that would be a noun. So for example, it might be has occasional cough or has occasional fever. So the word that comes after this, because occasional is an adjective, we need it to be followed by a noun.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is I would like you to choose the part of speech that goes in each gap. It's either going to be a noun, a verb, or an adjective. I'm going to give everybody, again, 30 seconds, although if it's too short, I'll do it twice.
Anything with our, if we want, as you said, as occasionally, it can be fever, cough, anything like any
exactly.
noun.
But no, what I want you to do, I don't want you to write an answer. I want you to write either noun, verb, or adjective.
Okay, all right.
So actually write the word noun rather than thinking of something, because when you're in the exam, you're not going to obviously know the answers before you listen, but you will be able to work out roughly whether it's a noun, a verb, or an adjective. And the reason that this is important is because very often we have students studying OET with us at the school, and when I mark their papers, they don't get the point because maybe they used an adjective instead of a noun. And it's the right answer, but it's the wrong part of speech.
Okay.
And this means that it's really important in the time that you have where you copy your answers from one page over onto the answer page in the exam, you need to make sure that you read through it and that it actually makes sense. Because sometimes you might have written, I don't know, has occasional vegetarian. You're thinking, what? That doesn't make sense. But maybe it was has occasional vegetables, and that's the right answer. So you might hear a word and think that's the answer, write it down. And when you read it back, you're like, what? It doesn't make sense. So that's why we're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you all 30 seconds to have a go at noun, verb, or adjective. Okay. So with number 3, Raj, what do you think? Noun, verb, or
I
adjective?
think it will be noun.
Correct. Very good. Yeah. So for example, it might be allergic to cats, allergic to penicillin, but yeah, it's going to be a noun. Good. Number 4?
Has a it's going to be adjective. It can be poor diet or unhealthy diet or.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Could be a vegetarian diet, could be a dairy-free diet. But yeah, because we know diet is a noun, we need an adjective before it. So yeah, great. Number 5?
Needed. It's. I'm thinking it's a verb. Oh, it's.
Well, needed is already a verb.
Needed is a, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'd go adjective.
Okay.
So it could be needed fertility treatment.
Okay.
Or needed IVF treatment.
Oh yeah.
So because treatment is a noun, all words that end in ment are nouns. But when you see a noun, you know that normally it's going to be an adjective before it because it's describing the noun.
Okay, so yeah, treatment is not. That's
I mean, if you had something like needed to go for treatment, then that kind of works as a verb. But the chances are in this case, they'll be describing the treatment rather than an action.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think for number 6?
Number 6.
Yeah.
Noun.
Could be a noun. Could also be an adjective.
Adjective, yeah. Big, tall. Yeah.
I mean, we might say for a noun, you could say first baby presented as an infant, maybe. Or you could say presented as breech, which would be an adjective. So the word as can be followed by either of those.
Okay.
Thoughts on number 7?
It's the same adjective it can be. Or
can you think of an adjective that would work?
Intervention required. Can put treatment or.
That would be a noun.
Yeah, then.
Yeah. So a noun would be better here because it's like something is required. So maybe forceps required during intervention, something like that. And finally, number 8, had problems with.
problem with birth, so it can be no. What you said no.
Yeah,
Problem with delivery. Problem with
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had problems with delivery, although it's after giving birth, but it doesn't matter. It's a noun. Yeah, maybe had problems with breastfeeding.
Yeah.
That could work. Good. Okay. Hi, Karen. Have you joined us? No? Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on. Now, I think the last kind of bit of training that I have for you is to train your ear. Now, your ear is a muscle, and you have to practice and practice to actually get it to understand all of the kind of individual words. And with listening, with part B and C, you do need to understand the overall idea a lot of the time. But with part A, you need to be able to pick out individual words and individual phrases to be able to write them into the gaps. So for this, you need to practice training your ear. So we're going to do a little bit of practice with this now. So what I have here is a little bit of a listening. This is the transcript. And I would like you to write what you hear in the gaps. Obviously, if you're on Facebook, type it into the comments. So yeah, listen, for this, Raj, you probably will need a pen and paper.
Yeah, I got it.
Go on, cool, good. And just to let you all know, it's not going to be just one word. There will definitely be more than one word in all of them, probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
Okay, so let's have a listen.
It's something I've had on and off for years, and it started off as, well, just a kind of dull pain, a bit of an ache, but now it really feels like something spasming or something. It hurts even when I put weight on my left leg. I usually sort of start if I kind of lie down on a tennis ball and massage through the muscle. It goes away.
Okay, Raj, how was that for you?
Very quick, honestly. I was just lost.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to have a listen again. You can't do this in the exam, but we're practicing, so it's okay. So let's have a listen.
Sorry, you said the fill in the blanks. It's going to be more than one word.
It's going to be more than one word. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. We'll do it again. If I can work out how.
It's something I've had on and off for years, and it started off as, well, just a kind of dull pain, a bit of an ache, but now it really feels like something spasming or something. It hurts even when I put weight on my left leg. I usually sort of start if I kind of lie down on a tennis ball and massage through the muscle. It goes away.
Yeah, it was better.
Okay, good. It's a shame that you can't listen more than once in the exam.
I didn't understand what you mean. I thought I need to listen for the proper.
Yeah, this is the thing with literally train your ear. So this kind of exercise, I mean, we'll go through the answers and look at it properly, but if you go onto the OET website and you download one of the sample tests, you turn right to the back, you get the transcript. And what you can do, get some Tipp-Ex or something and cross out a few different words in the transcript and then listen again and try and you can do this with everything. It doesn't have to be related to OET. You can do it with YouTube videos, with anything where you can find the actual listening and the words, because this really takes practice to be able to distinguish that you've got all of this listening and you've got to take 1 or 2 words out of it to get the answer. And that's why it takes practice. And it doesn't matter if you've been living in the UK for a long time, or, if you're really good at listening, it can still be very difficult to do this. And that is the main skill that you need really for this part A. So let's have a look at the answers. I'm just going to give you them. So the first one we've got on and off. Let's have a look at the phonetics of this, if I can. So we've got on and off. And what happens in English is when we have a word that ends in a consonant and the next word begins with a vowel, they link together. So instead of on and or on an, we get onen. And we also get linking between and off, because and ends in a consonant and off begins with a vowel, so they link together. But actually with this, we also remove the D. So what we hear is on and off. On and off, but together we get on and off. So it can be very difficult to hear it, because when you look at it, it sounds very different to how it looks.
It does. To be honest, what I heard, it was enough. Not
Okay.
on.
Which
I
makes
heard that
sense. Like
she's
that's, I
saying
mean,
something I had enough for years. I thought she's saying enough.
okay, yeah, exactly. Because if we remove the on, we get an off.
Yeah.
On and off. So it makes sense that that was your answer. What did you have for the second one?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. Okay, good. Yeah. So we've got the same linking here. When we've got that vowel and the consonant together, they link together. So a kind of. Did you have something for the next one?
Something for the.
Good. Now, what happens here? This symbol that I've got on the board is it's so special in English that it's called a schwa. It even has its own name. And this is the most common sound in English. And the sound is If you can't understand someone speaking English, but you can listen to them, all you will hear is yeah, right? And that's because this sound is everywhere in English. So instead of or something, we get or something. So if we go back to on and off, the word and in the middle is that sound, on and off. If we look again at a kind of, we have a kind of. So we've got two schwas there. And then we get or something. So this is a really, really common sound, and it can be quite difficult to hear because it's everywhere. We've got another example of it in the last one. What did you have, Raj, for the last one?
Yeah, Liona tennis.
Liona, good.
Tennis ball, yeah. Just the first one, I didn't get it, so I thought to say enough. She's saying enough for years.
Okay, yeah.
When you said on and off, I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah. Well, she speaks very fast as well, so don't worry. This one always makes me laugh, Liona. So we've got that together, but if you wrote lion, like rah, lion, don't worry, because that is literally how it sounds. We get Liona tennis ball, but it sounds like lion. So the reason for this is that when we have an I sound at the end of a word, that vowel, that diphthong, I, and then we've got the next word with a vowel, we get like a y sound that goes in the middle. So we get lion, liona.
Yeah.
So again, all this kind of connected speech that can be difficult to hear.
Yes.
Okay, patient language. So in parts B and C, we hear medical professionals talking a lot more than we hear the patients. But in part A, we hear patients a lot. And patients don't use really good language. They don't use formal language. They can be very informal. So sometimes it can be difficult to actually understand what they're saying, or maybe you understand the words, but you can't really interpret it because their language is different. It's the kind of stuff you hear on the street rather than while you're, actually practicing for OET. So we've got a bit of a practice with this now. Again, we've got the same kind of thing as we've just had, but now we're focusing on the formal and informal language. I want you to listen, and again, type your answers into the comments or write them down for the gaps.
I don't want to change it because I don't want to up them too much, or I might get used to them and I might feel more pains in that. I'm trying to keep the painkillers down. I'd rather go with the pain a bit than be bumped up. Too much pain and then get addicted to painkillers. That's gonna, once you're equal to the painkillers, your pains are going to be there all the time anyway. So I'm trying to keep the painkillers under control.
Okay. Now this is especially informal. It wouldn't be as informal as this, I wouldn't have thought anyway, in the actual exam, but it's a good way to practice. I think I'm going to play it one more time, and then we will go over the answers. So here we go once more.
I don't want to change it because I don't want to up them too much, or I might get used to them and I might feel more pains in that. I'm trying to keep the painkillers down. I'd rather go with the pain a bit than be bumped up. Too much pain and then get addicted to painkillers. That's gonna, once you're equal to the painkillers, your pains are going to be there all the time anyway. So I'm trying to keep the painkillers under control.
Okay. Let's have a look at these answers. Just have a check whether they're the same as yours.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. She said, yeah, too much. More pains. I would rather will go with pain. She said more pain. But I'm trying and go with pain. Yeah, that's fine. Bumped up. I didn't know.
Bumped up.
Yeah, that's fine. That's gonna. And I missed two, equal as well.
Okay.
Two.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's have a think about what this actually means. So I've got 3 of the sentences here. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. And I want you to try and see if you can write these in a more formal way. So with the first one, for example, I mean, I don't want to give you the answer, but what do you think, Raj, for the first one? How could we write it more formally?
I don't want to take more.
Perfect. Yeah, that would work. That would work. Good. Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Try and write the formal version for all 3 of these. Okay. So you said, yeah, I don't want to take more of them.
Yeah.
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 This was my answer. I do not want to increase my medication. I mean, we could contract that easily. I don't want to increase my medication. What did you have for the next one?
I just thought it's all right. I might feel more. I might feel more pains. It's kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pains is not used very often. We're more likely to say pain. And when we say "and that," it's very informal. It basically means "and other stuff" or "and everything else." So it's very informal to say that. So yeah, you could just say like, I might feel more pain. My pain might increase, which is the same thing. Good. What about the last one?
I'm decreasing my painkillers. And you said I don't want like I'm trying to decrease my painkillers.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce the amount of painkillers I use. So yeah, reduce, decrease, same thing's fine. Good. Okay, and we've got the last 2. Same thing. I'll give you 30 seconds. Try and write these a little bit more formally. Okay. Raj, what did you have for the first one?
I thought it would be, I would prefer to take less painkillers. And what to say, and I don't know how to put that.
You know, you're thinking along the right lines. It's like, I'd rather have the pain than have more painkillers.
Yeah. Like, I prefer to rather feel pain than my.
Yeah. So that's the meaning of it. Then be bumped up, meaning then have more medication. So I'd rather have the pain or feel the pain than have my medication increased. What about the next one?
To be honest, I didn't understand the meaning of this. What she's trying to say is equal to the pain once you are equal to the painkillers.
It's a bit confusing, and it's because it's so. Sorry, sirens. Yeah, it's a bit confusing because it's so informal. So this is the meaning. Once you're immune to the painkillers.
Right. Okay.
So what she's saying is that she'd rather have the pain than increase the medication, because as soon as the medication is increased, then the pain and the medication will almost like cancel each other out, and then she'll need to take more painkillers. Yeah, so that's what she's meaning, but it's difficult to understand it.
Yeah.
A way that you can kind of study this informal language is to study phrasal verbs. So there's so many books out there on phrasal verbs, or you can literally just go on Google and type in phrasal verbs.
In phrasal.
Phrasal, so Phrasal, yeah. And then verbs. Yeah. Okay. So things like here where bumped up is a phrasal verb, a verb and a preposition. But they are usually informal, and by reading about them and practicing and understanding their meaning, it will help with that informal language.
Okay, I will put the phrasal verbs.
Yeah, phrasal verbs.
Then...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it should help a little bit. Okay, right, let's do some practice. So, extract one. We're going to be listening to a pulmonologist talking to a patient called Robert Miller. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Now, looking at your notes, I see you've been having a few problems recently. Could you tell me a little about what's been happening in your own words?
Well, yeah, it's a combination of things, really. To kick off, I feel pretty tired most of the time. Just haven't got the energy I used to have.
Right.
And I've got this cough. It's there all the time, and it feels dry. I mean, I'm not coughing up phlegm or blood or anything like that. But the worst thing, which really bothers me, is that I'm so short of breath. Even if I'm just getting dressed in the morning or going up a few steps, I have to stop because I get breathless so quickly. And I've lost quite a bit of weight, too. I mean, I didn't notice at first because it was very gradual, but all in all, I'm about 10 kilos lighter than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
I've not been dieting or anything. I love my food.
Okay. And, well, have you noticed anything else?
Yeah, just take a look at my fingers. The tips look swollen, don't they? And it's the same with my toes, which are bulging out at the end, too. It's weird. And my nails, I don't understand it. They've become soft. They're not hard like they used to be. Look.
Okay, I see what you mean. And tell me a little about yourself. What you do for a living?
Well, till recently, I worked as a farm laborer. Did it for about 20 years in total. It was hard, physical graft, and it finally got to the stage where I just couldn't cope with it anymore.
Right.
It really took it out of me. So this last couple of years, I've been a security guard, working nights at a local DIY warehouse. It's a bit boring, and the late shifts took a bit of getting used to, but it's okay.
And are you finding it less physically demanding?
That's right. I just haven't got the stamina now for anything else. In fact, I've even had to give up my golf. Can't manage it anymore. Any spare time now goes on looking after my pigeons. I've done that since I was a teenager.
Oh, very nice. And what about your medical history? Now, I see you were diagnosed with hypertension last year, and you're taking beta blockers at the moment for that.
That's right. My GP said it'd help. Something the GP also said when I saw him about my breathing problems was that he heard what he called crackling noises in my chest.
Okay.
I can't hear them, but he could through the stethoscope.
Okay. And is there any family history of breathing or lung problems or any serious illnesses that you know of?
I don't think so. My mother was always healthy, but my dad developed bad eczema as an adult. I remember the red patches on his hands and face, but he didn't have any lung problems as far as I know.
Right. And, well, looking at your previous tests, you were diagnosed with hypertension about 6 months ago. You had...
Oh, yeah, an echocardiogram, to check my heart.
Yes.
And a chest x-ray about 4 weeks ago after I saw my GP. That came back okay, as far as I know.
I see.
I'm not keen on hospitals, to be honest. Am I going to need to have lots more tests?
Well, I'm going to suggest you have what's called an arterial blood gas test. This will let us check how well your lungs are working, how they move oxygen into your blood and remove carbon dioxide from it.
Okay.
And I'm also going to order a CT scan. Now, this will be more revealing than the chest x-ray you had. And I may then prescribe a course of corticosteroids. This will depend on what the tests show up. Now, I'd start you on a relatively low dose, and then we'll see how...
Okay. Raj, how was that for you?
It was all right, yeah. I just want to ask you if there is any spelling mistakes, because when you're listening and try to write it down, it will be all right, or they're going to mark.
Good question. Now, with spelling in OET, it depends on how badly wrong it's spelt. So you can spell things incorrectly, but if you have spelt it incorrectly and it looks like it could be a different word, then you won't get the mark.
Okay.
So, try and spell things correctly, obviously. Imagine the answer was bright. The spelling of bright is obviously B-R-I-G-H-T. If you spelt it as B-R-I-T-E, they would probably give you the mark. Because when you look at it, it still sounds like bright and it's just spelt incorrectly. But if you do something and it looks like a different word, then you won't get the point. So try and spell as best as you can, but I completely appreciate the time. You're writing really quickly. So. Remember as well that when you're writing in the test, you get to copy your answers over afterwards. So that will help as well with the spelling. You have to do it quite quickly, but if you notice that the spelling is wrong, you'll be able to hopefully correct it.
Yeah. Are we allowed to use pencil, or should we pen?
Good question. I'm not sure. I don't want to say yes or no either way in case I get it wrong.
Yeah, I'm always thinking the pencil, if we use, we can rub it and then do it rather than making so much mistakes and stuff.
I'm not actually sure. So I'm sure that there's someone who is commenting on Facebook who's answering these questions. So hopefully Catalin, my colleague, is listening and can answer that for you. But I would search for it on the OET website. They have all of this information about the exam before. I don't want to get it wrong, so I can't really say, sorry.
Thank you.
All right, let's have a look at the answers then. So with the first one, Raj, what did you have as your answer?
Dry.
Okay, good. So yeah, we can see that we've got cough, it's not even a synonym, the same word there. And persistent, it's there all the time. And then after that, we have the answer. So dry. Good.
Yeah.
So it's these kind of signposts. You hear the word cough and you think, okay, good, I'm listening. It's there all the time. That's persistent. And then you're waiting for that final adjective. We've got the adjective describing the noun cough. So perfect. Okay, the second one, what did you have?
I put gradually, weight loss described as gradually in nature.
So this is the thing. So, you know, here gradually is an adverb. And when we say described as, we need to follow it with an adjective. So let's have a look at the answer. So we've got short of breath. So we know that the weight loss is coming next. We can see I've lost a bit of weight. So we know about the weight loss. And then we've got the word gradual. So in this case, you wouldn't get the mark, I don't think, for writing gradually, because you've put the wrong part of speech in there. So when you're copying your answer over, if you say described as gradually in nature, it doesn't make sense because it needs to be an adjective rather than an adverb.
Gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the things I need to work. That, to be honest,
Yeah.
these where it's adjective gonna go and these otherwise.
It all comes like step by step, you know. You're still learning, it's fine. No stress yet. You haven't booked your exam. Okay, what did you have for number 3?
Swollen.
Swollen, yeah, good. So we've got fingertips, we have fingers, we have tips, appear and look, synonyms, and then we have swollen. Appear is a verb that always needs to be followed by an adjective, like the verb be. It's the same with the verb feel. So if we have a look at our next one, number 4, we've got nails.
Feel,
They've become soft.
Yeah, they're soft. Yeah, my answer is soft.
So we have that adjective. So words like appear, feel, become, look, sound, smell, these are all followed usually by adjectives, like feels soft, smells bad, taste wonderful, appear beautiful.
Yeah, so where I can find all this, like, you know, as you said, these there's any not website and these things where I can check like where it, you know,
I mean, so this kind of stuff, this is like specific grammar stuff. So what you can do is at our school we have a foundation OET course, which is something where it's mostly just vocabulary and grammar, but there is other bits like listening and speaking in there. And by doing a short course like that, there will be a lot of new language in this kind of grammar that will help you with the exam. If you are sort of above the level, which I think you probably are, if you're sort of B2 and above, then we have a lot of different kinds of courses. We've got courses specifically for listening, specifically for reading, for writing. And then we have complete packages, which have got everything, including practice tests. So it sounds to me like you might want to do a full OET course to really get the most out of this, to be able to learn this kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably. I have spoken to, is it
Harmony? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, I think, gold course online.
Okay, yeah, fantastic.
Really online because I'm working, so it's hard for me to, you know, do daytime. Like,
yeah, I mean, we have like face-to-face packages and online packages. So for a lot of people, they tend to do the online because they can fit it around their work schedule.
Yeah, I love to do face-to-face, you know. I just, because you're in England and I'm in Leicestershire, and it's impossible to travel, honestly, at the moment. It's all right, we're all online at the moment, so we're all used to it now. Yeah, so online, I could, you know, start with online, and then if I will struggle, then, you know, let's see, but hopefully it will work.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's keep going. So with number 5, so farm labourer.
Yeah.
He's previously employed, and he's using worked in the past tense, so worked as a farm labourer. What did you have for number 6?
Now employed as a security guard.
Correct. So we can see 20 years to help with our chronological order.
Yep.
And then now employed, and he says, yeah, this last couple of years I've been a security guard. So great. Okay, we'll ignore that. Let's look at this next one, number 7.
Oh, that was a beta blockers.
Yeah, this was a bit difficult, this one. So this went very quickly, I thought. They said, what about your medical history? And at that point you need to go, okay, I remember in the 30 seconds, I checked the subtitle, well not subtitle, the, what's the word? You know what I mean? Medical history. So then we can hear, okay, hypertension, and then very quickly we move on to beta blockers.
Beta blockers, yeah.
That was a difficult one, I thought. Good. So we've got current at the moment for our matching synonyms.
And I got cracking sound.
It is crackling, yeah. So we can see a GP and we hear it. And then we have a synonym here, sounds and noises, and crackling. And we can also see this as in my chest. And we can hear sounds in chest.
Yeah.
Good. Number 9.
Number 9, I put bad asthma, or it can be just eczema, sorry. Eczema, or it can be just eczema. So
in British English, we call it eczema. So let's just, we've got father and dad, suffered and developed. The answer is eczema, but if you have bad, it's not a problem. So bad eczema or just eczema, you get the point either way. So in British English, we say eczema, 2 syllables, eczema. In the recording, the guy was American and he called it eczema, which is 3 syllables, eczema. So it depends on the accent. That's why practice is really important.
Yeah, then the spelling should be right as well.
Okay, how did you spell it?
They were wrong.
Okay. Okay. Write it down, remember it. Okay. Number 10.
A test. Was it 6 months ago? I had.
Sorry,
I wrote something, but I can. It's a hyper.
That's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Hypertension. Yeah, I wrote and I can't read my handwriting. Hypertension.
Well, we've got to be really careful here. So, we've got hypertension 6 months ago. And then we get onto this chest X-ray. Yeah. But because it's in previous tests, we've got to be careful here, because it's almost kind of throwing you off the answer. But okay.
Yeah, for hypertension. That's why I was looking at the previous test, and I thought, why I wrote hypertension, because it doesn't go with the test. It was hypertension.
Yeah. Good.
And for 11, I put, because she talked about arterial blood gases, which I put ABG. Which is short form, arterial blood gas.
Yeah. So you can write ABG or you can write arterial blood gas. Both.
Okay. I was going to ask you, is it okay to put ABG?
Yeah. As long as you get it right. Yeah. As long as you have the right letters, you'd get the mark. Good. And number 12?
I put steroids.
So we've got CT scan. We can see that chronology. And then the next one, corticosteroids. This is a prescriber course of.
But corticosteroids.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You didn't do too badly there. Well done. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay. We've got one more practice. So we're going to do the same thing. You will hear a consultation between a doctor and a patient called Phoebe Johnson, and you have 30 seconds to look through the questions.
My mom.
Occupational English Test, Part A. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. Extract 1, questions 1 to 12. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Okay, you now have 30 seconds again.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. Okay, you got a bit longer than usual.
How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you.
Phoebe Johnson is the unusual name Phoebe. We don't see many Phoebes coming through.
It was a name my mother loved, which I've come to live with.
And you've not been here before?
No, I haven't. I've come for a second opinion, actually,
okay.
if that's all right.
Oh, look, that's what I'm here for, I guess.
It's kind of a complicated story. I went to the doctor it was probably over a year ago now when I think about it. I was having pains in my tingling feelings in my arms and stuff, and I was at night, and I was worried about it. And in the process of trying to work out what that was, the doctor actually discovered I had a lump on my thyroid. He noticed a sort of swelling in my neck.
Well, is the thyroid lump still there?
I think so, but it's never
Looks like it's all. I'll examine it shortly.
And he sent me off to have tests, and I had a series of tests, which I can try and tell you about.
You would have had blood tests done, scans, nuclear scans done?
I'll try and remember the order. I think I had a, ultrasound. And that revealed I had a lump in an unusually large lump in my right thyroid and some other lumps in the left-hand side. And the doctor then sent me to an endocrinologist whose name escapes me at the moment, but it will come to me. And he looked at the ultrasound results and suggested I have a sort of a biopsy or something like that, and various blood tests.
And that's been done?
That was done ages and ages ago.
What did that show? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, I do remember quite well. It showed nothing sinister.
Good.
And what the doctor said at the time, the specialist said that although it showed nothing sinister, because this lump was larger than a certain number of centimetres or something, that he would recommend having it taken out and looked at, because often abnormalities don't show up in these biopsies.
Did he refer you to a surgeon, the endocrinologist, or you just decided not to pursue that?
No, it got to the point where he actually booked me, or maybe he was a surgeon himself, but he booked me into a hospital to go and have an operation on my thyroid, which I never did. So another thing happened in my family. My son had a bit of a breakdown and I got distracted from the whole business of my own health, so I decided not to pursue this and basically forgot all about it for months and months. And so I'm now coming to find out whether you think I should pursue it or not.
If you've got a lump and you don't know what's causing it, whether it's in the breast or whether it's wherever it is, it needs to be examined properly. And the appropriate, my opinion would be to have it removed.
I do.
I think so.
You don't think I should have another test?
Well, look, something? You could have a nuclear bone scan and maybe a ultrasound and guided biopsy, but really if there's a lump there in the thyroid gland and it looks like there is a lump there, it should be removed by an appropriate specialist. But
I am also, I feel very well. I have no...
That's good.
No feeling that there's anything wrong with me. I'm sort of person doctors don't like because I'm a non-interventionist.
Lumps are always a worry, and doctors like to get a diagnosis, whereas people like yourself obviously don't. Well, that's not like not like hiding your head in the sand like an ostrich. It's more like you don't want to know, which is good sometimes.
No, I think I do want to know. I just want to be reassured by someone else that this really is a problem. You're not telling me what I want to hear.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm speaking my advice as a medical person is to get that done. But that's only my advice.
Yes,
my advice,
I do understand.
You can do whatever you like.
Okay. Let's check the answers. So we're going to do this a little bit differently with the feedback for this one. So this is what they said. You've not been here before. No, I haven't. I've come for a second opinion, actually. So the answer for this one?
Second opinion.
A second opinion. Yeah, good. Okay. With number 2, Raj, what was your answer?
Tingling.
Tingling. Yeah, perfect. He says, I was having pains. She said, I was having pains, tingling feelings in my arms and stuff.
Yeah.
We can see that and stuff is an example of informal language.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Previous talker found a lump of thyroid.
Yeah. Lump. Yeah. So the doctor actually discovered I had a lump in my thyroid. We can see those synonyms, remember, from before, discovered and found.
Okay, if I put just lump, it will be all right.
Just
I put lump on my thyroid.
Yeah, no, just lump. I mean, when it's a word or short phrase, so if one word will do, then put one word as the answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 4?
I had in her neck. No, I missed that, sorry.
Okay, so he said he noticed a sort of swelling in my neck. So swelling, yeah. So we've got had and noticed. Again, we've got that informal language, a sort of.
Notice, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Number 5?
Ultrasound.
Yeah, I had an ultrasound and that revealed. Good.
Yeah.
What did you have for number 6?
Endocrinologist.
Endocrinologist, correct. Check your spelling for this one, everybody. Again, it's not a problem if it's spelt wrong, but it is a problem if it looks like a different healthcare professional and there's quite a lot of gists, obviously, as you know, so just be careful with it. What did you have for 7?
Blood test disposed. I went taken out.
Good. Yeah, taken out and looked at. Good. Okay, number 8.
Was booked in a hospital for operation.
Good. Yep. So she said, yeah, it got to the point where he actually booked me, or maybe he was a surgeon himself, but he booked me into a hospital to go and have an operation on my thyroid, which I never did.
But I put just operation. That will be wrong. It should be an operation.
You'd get the mark for it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like a small article, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Again, it's one of those things. Try and get it right. But it's such a small word. If you miss out a or the, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I can't say 100%, but I don't think it would be an issue.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you have for number 9?
I missed that one. Sorry. I was
That's all right.
I was lost. So I'm in a bit of breakdown. Yeah, I heard that she was saying.
Yeah.
So I just decided not to. So became. Not to do this. Distracted.
Correct. Yeah.
What
so she's saying, yeah, I got distracted from the whole business of my own health. So we've got the I got, which is the same as became, and then health. So distracted. Good. Number 10.
Asked if she thought to have another. I missed that one, but it's just, it can be another test or check or, like guessing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could guess the answer for this one. So yeah, she says, you don't think I should have another test? He says, well, look, I mean, you could have another nuclear bone scan. Be careful with this. If you put nuclear bone scan as your answer, for those of you on Facebook, just be careful with this. Make sure, it's asked if she ought to. Now, ought to is not very common, but it means the same as should. So ought to and should are synonyms. They're the same thing, really. But ought to is a bit more formal.
Yeah.
11 was a little bit difficult. What did you get, Raj?
I just put views herself as a, like, healthy, like well, but I don't know if she mentioned them.
Well, if we notice the bullet point above number 11, it says feels very well.
I just put well. I didn't put very. I put well. She herself as a.
Have a read of it. See if you can see the answer.
Sort of person doctor don't like because I'm non-interventionist. What do mean in interventionist?
So a non-interventionist is someone who doesn't want to have some kind of medical help. So they're saying, okay, yeah, I found a lump, but it's not causing me any problems. So why should I do anything about it?
Okay.
So she's saying like, oh, doctors don't like me because I'm a non-interventionist. So she views herself as a non-interventionist. Some people, they have a cough and they immediately go to the doctor. Other people are like, it's just a cough. I won't do anything. So
that's a new word to learn. As somebody non-interventionist.
Okay, write it down.
I am. Thank you.
All right, let's have a look at the last one. So, non-interventionist. Number 12.
Wants to be reassured. Just like it.
Just check your spelling.
Yeah, it's spelling.
Good.
Reassured.
Yeah, I want to be reassured by someone else. So, good.
Yeah. So I missed few, like 3.
It's okay. Let's go through a kind of summary then. So when you are listening, write down. Otherwise, you have to try and remember everything.
Yeah.
Keep your answers short. You don't want to go too long. If your answer is sort of more than 3 words, then the chances are that it's not correct. So a word or short phrase, and a short phrase is not a sentence. It means like 3, maybe 4 words, but no more than that.
Okay.
Minor spelling errors are okay. Like we talked about before, just make sure that your spelling, if it's incorrect, it has to look like the right word. It can't look like a different word because that's too confusing. Okay. Use words around the gaps to help you. Like we're saying, everything there. It gives you so much information. It tells you what's coming next, gives you the synonyms, tells you what part of speech it should be. So I know it's only 30 seconds, but you've got to use it as best as you can.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Can we underline them?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can write all over it. Yeah,
okay.
because you copy your answers over, you can write whatever you like, because as long as you write neatly in the answers, then it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've got that extra piece of paper. So, yeah. So, yeah, use those 30 seconds to anticipate your answers, almost guessing, working out what the answer could be. So, like we saw earlier, is allergic to, you've got to think, okay, there's so many things that it could be, but it's not going to be something completely strange. It's going to be something like penicillin or cats or
noun, like it should be noun.
Exactly, yeah. So be aware of synonymous language, patient language versus medical language. Like I said to you before, phrasal verbs is a really good one to look at. Collocations are really, really important in OET. In our courses, we have a lot of exercises on collocations. They're basically words that go together because they sound good.
You said
collocation. So COLL, OCA, TIONS.
Collocation. I will have a look at these as well.
Yeah. So for vocabulary, collocations is really useful. In all of our courses that we have, there are sections on collocations, just because you need them for your reading, for your speaking, for everything in OET. I mean, everything in life, to be honest. Collocations are really important.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about parts of speech, like we said before. Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? It's not going to be an adverb, probably, so be careful with that. And keep listening. I mean, don't fall asleep in the middle of it.
You know, yeah, it's panicking when you lost, like when you lost one, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I lost
and it's
one.
so hard to, like, you've just got to kind of.
And then I was like panicking. I didn't show up, but I was like, oh, it's like I'm gonna miss all the answers now.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's so important that you're focusing on everything, so that every bullet point you can be like done, 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 and then you know where you are in the right kind of place. But if you lose concentration for a minute, or well, not even a minute, like a second, you might end up thinking, I don't know where I am. So yeah, but it comes down to concentration. Okay, so that's the end of it, really. I just want to tell everybody about some of the packages that we have here at the school, at West London English School. So here, this is our listening package that we have. There are video lessons with myself and with Harmy, who is our head of OET. You will have seen him on our videos on YouTube. He's a great guy. So we've got some video lessons on there for you and some practice tests related to listening. We have a similar sort of thing with writing. So with this one, there are 11 video lessons. I mean, writing for OET can be very complex. So with our writing courses, there are a lot of lessons. You get 5 tests, which you won't have seen before. They are all original. They were created here at the school by us OET teachers, professionals. We're a premium preparation provider for the OET, so we have a lot of experience with creating materials. So the writing course is great. You get personalized feedback for all of your writing. We also have just a writing correction service. So if you don't actually want the lessons, what you can do is just pay for individual letters. So what happens is we will send you some case notes, you write your letter, you send it back, and then we send you detailed feedback. And the feedback that we give you is with the marking criteria. So we can show you whether it's, maybe it's contents that you lost out on, and maybe it was the language, like the grammar and vocabulary. So you get really detailed feedback with that. But this service is without the lessons. We have a speaking course, so video lessons again with Harmy and myself, and you get video lessons, like live classes with feedback. So there's 5 role plays, and you have a lot of speaking practice with a teacher who will give you error correction. They will mark it according to the criteria. So more, really detailed stuff. We have the same thing for reading, so some lessons and 6 practice tests. So these are our courses. We've got these individual skills, but we also have packages. So Raj, like you were saying, you might do the gold. So what we have is we've got silver. Yeah, so we've got silver, which is our kind of like basic package. Platinum has everything. It's got all of the skills. It's got grammar. It's got vocabulary. It's got a lot of teacher feedback with it. And then we've got gold, which is our kind of middle package. So yeah, we've had really good feedback for those online courses. These are all online. You will work with a teacher. You'll be assigned a personal tutor. But you will not need to be coming into the school. It's all done online on our e-learning platform, and then with a teacher.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Beth. How I'm gonna, if after joining the course, do I will get the notification when the live classes are, like today, when if there is any live class?
So when you've signed it up, Harmy will email you about live classes. But all of that will be done with your personal tutor. So for example, if you decided to buy the Gold course today, then what would happen is you would be assigned a tutor, which would probably be Harmy or me. And we would have email contact with you to be able to arrange like all of your speaking practice, your writing practice, and we can see everything that you've done. So when you've done the video lessons and when you've actually done the practice and the practice tests, we can see everything. So we're in constant contact with all of our online students for it. So yeah, you would just be given our contact details basically.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Thank you very much, honestly,
right.
because I did some 3 lessons with the other provider. Honestly,
Okay.
it wasn't like yours one.
Okay.
It wasn't nothing. So I'm so glad it was Harmy's video, online video. I checked it was on Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
And when it was for writing, and I felt like, oh, I should join this.
Yeah, Harmy's fantastic. I think.
Lovely. The way you told us so many things, like important things. I feel more confident now. Like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, if you when you've done any of the packages, you because you do get so much feedback with it, and there's so much information. It's there's so much that you can learn, and we do find that we have a really high success rate. And we love what we do. I mean, this is our team. So we've got Harmy, who is our OET course director. There's me in the middle, and Catalin. Catalin is great. She actually runs some of the exams for OET. So she does a lot of the speaking with them, with our students, which is a great practice as an actual, she works as a patient in the actual tests. So she's a fantastic person for us to have on board. So yeah, I mean, that's it from us really. Thank you everybody online for joining us. Thank you, Raj, for being here.